What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Dirty Degens. I am, as always, and forever, your degenerate host, Josh. Tonight, we've got a short one, but a good one for you, and full of gold. So strap in. We'll have a good time and tons of time for Q&A, and of course, tequila. So I don't know if YouTube allows that, but I just do whatever the fuck I want because I'm a filthy degenerate. So here we go. You know, the market started off really positive. I streamed a couple days ago, 2 days ago, and I said, hey, risk on, we're back. And it did seem that way for a moment, that risk on was back in action and crypto was about to fly. And it did for a moment. But Trump, you know, Orange Cheeto, has to throw a fit, has to get upset about something. But he did get what he wanted in a way. However, there are roadblocks that are coming up. So Trump got Greenland, right? We've got what we wanted. But the thing is he made all these agreements with Denmark. Greenland didn't have anything to do with it. So now there's more trouble, right? America wants Greenland's rare earths and mineral rights. We want to set up bases and everything. And Denmark was like, cool, we can agree with that. You're not going to take it over. You don't want to own it. Cool. And Greenland's like, what the fuck? Nobody told us. So now there's tension there. And also, it does block China. So obviously, there's more tension there. I told you, we're not going to talk about a whole lot of general shit, but this is what is impacting the markets right now. So it's very, very important that you understand all of this. Now, also, Trump said that he's got this board of peace, $1 billion. You can be on it. He invited like 50 countries on. So far, 20 have joined. But now we've got problems with Canada because Canada wants to talk shit about Trump, and Trump ain't about that life. So he says they're no longer allowed. They're no longer a part of the board of peace. Mind you, NATO is dissolving at its seams, right? Like everybody's pissed. But here we are bringing in Russia, bringing in China and everything, kicking out France. It's causing a ton of issues, tons of market problems. This is what is causing the market volatility. It's not that any of this really matters. It's all fucking noise. It's that simple. But it causes distress in the markets, right? So it's not that you need to understand why this is happening or what is exactly is happening, but this is what is causing panic and volatility in the market. And also, obviously, as we all know, gold is at an all-time high. It broke $5,000 nearly today. And not only that, we have silver currently trading over $100 an ounce, which is just bonkers, right? But you know what? Screw that. I'm not about that life. Bitcoin did get a pop-up. It dropped back down. This chart looks wonky as shit because of how it's zoomed in, but it did. Man, it won't let me grab it. Chill. Yeah, there we go. But it popped up for a minute and then gold spiked and it dropped back down. You know, the Bitcoin right now is just reacting to what gold and market does, right? So risk off, Bitcoin's going to move. Risk on, Bitcoin's going to move down. That's really all it is. It's a lot of panic and a lot of uncertainty. And unfortunately, that has a massive, massive impact on literally everything going on. But there's a lot of positive developments around Bitcoin in general and crypto as a whole. You've got Las Vegas, who is currently struggling basically more than any tourist area in the entire United States. They're now reporting that there are more and more businesses within Las Vegas that are accepting Bitcoin because it is cheaper than accepting credit cards. Great. That's what we want to see. We want to see that small purchases in the sense of like under like $1,000 or whatever are tax-free outside of like sales tax, right? You don't get capital gains tax on your Bitcoin purchases, and it's more effective, cheaper, and efficient than credit cards. Perfect. That's fantastic. We want to see a lot more of that. But what's crazy is you also do have Vegas resorts that are resorting to accepting Canadian money because that is also cheaper than accepting US dollar. We are at a focal point of Bitcoin and crypto and the US dollar collapsing and failing. We have trouble in the Fed and panic in the government. We have Trump causing wars and distress all around the globe, causing issues with the Fed. Like there's so much distress going around. We have Denmark and Switzerland and Japan selling US bonds. Everything is bad. Now we have Vegas accepting Canadian money for the resorts and for betting and all that shit. Like it shows you that we need a flight of safety. Now, flight to safety, in your opinion, maybe it's gold. For me, it's Bitcoin. But also, there are other good things too. UBS, which is a multi-trillion-dollar fund manager. I think they're like $8.7 trillion. They are now allowing their clients to invest in Bitcoin and crypto. Perfect. Can't complain about that. Another thing I didn't pull up too is that today, actually, the NASDAQ removed restrictions on how much people could buy of Bitcoin ETFs. So before, people could only buy X amount of shares per day. They could sell unlimited. They could only buy so many. That restriction just got lifted today. Now we're saying that institutions are pushing the market forward, and that's what we're really relying on. The future is institutions. That's why the 4-year cycle is gone. That's why we're entering the super cycle, because we have people like MicroStrategy and Meta. I don't necessarily agree with all of that, but this does entirely play into that. Restrictions are lifted from our capitalist markets, and accredited investors and hedge funds and your corporations are going to be able to unlimitedly invest in Bitcoin. Huge, absolutely massive. Now, what's crazy is this is where you start to get into the fuckery, right? We're talking about how BlackRock's bad, Rothschilds are bad. This is why we want to eat the banks or burn the banks and eat the rich, right? This is exactly why crypto was made, was because they can't do it. But now we have them involved, right? It's too late. You can't count them out. They're already here. BlackRock's here. They've got their 4 ETFs. And now we've got the biggest hedge fund in the world that is going to start offering it to their clients. This is where they try to fuck with you. This is where they try to take you out of the game. This is where they try to manipulate you and cause fear within inside you. This is why every single time we start to get a bump, it dumps, because retail gets hope and institutions dump on them. They already made their bag, and guess what? They are not ready for it to go up yet. And that is exactly what we're seeing. Every single time retail buys, crypto dumps hard. They are dumping on you, and they are dumping on me. And that is why we're here, and that's what we're fighting against. That's why we buy Bitcoin. That's why we're in crypto. That's the whole fucking reason we are here. But every single time, and we knew this was going to happen, the moment that BlackRock got involved, the moment that Larry Fink's dirty little greasy fried chicken fingers got involved, he was going to manipulate the market, because he got a big enough bag, and he knows that he can afford to buy a little bit higher to make sure that he can, he knows the future. He sees what's going to happen. But no, that's what they're doing. So you can look in this chart. I can't blow it up, unfortunately, but it's plain and clear. I'm not going to bore you guys with a bunch of Bitcoin shit, but also what I do want to point out is that every single cycle, what we've seen is we have seen a pump in gold, and then Bitcoin follows once gold starts to peak. Gold pumps, Bitcoin follows after gold is done and it peaks. Gold is going parabolic right now. What do you think Bitcoin's going to do next? Because also, I want to point out to you that China just once again found another $86 billion in gold. Also, in November of 2025, just 3 months ago, they found the biggest deposit they had ever found since 1920. Gold is not a limited asset. This is not the currency reserve of the world. Gold is not finite. There is gold in asteroids. There's gold beneath the crust of the world. It doesn't matter. And now you also have gold being faked all around the world. I see constant posts. I see jewelers talking about it, cutting open gold bars, and it's full of lead. It's more manipulated than Bitcoin could ever possibly be. The bullshit about retail buying and institutions dumping it may be completely true, but they can only do that for so long. It's not endless like gold is. You can't fake Bitcoin like you can fake gold. You can't do this forever. It's literally impossible. You know what else everybody said was impossible, though? Doge would never get an ETF, and Doge would never go mainstream. Now, I'm not saying you should go buy this ETF, but it's pretty cool that Doge did just get an ETF. I don't know. It's cool, right? Like, I'm not gonna lie. Doge ETF came out, and Doge fell like 3%. But hey, we got our first meme coin ETF. That's pretty cool. Some other things that are cool is that we do still have SEC lawsuits that are being dismissed. Currently, there's the big battle about the Clarity Act. Coinbase and United States is saying that if Coinbase doesn't flip sides, that harsher regulation is going to be in place. But you know what? We're still seeing positive developments despite all of that noise. Just like I said, that is noise. They want to cause panic and fear. But we're still seeing major lawsuits that were brought against major crypto players being dropped, such as this one against Gemini around the earned product. So that's huge, right? Like just like a few months ago, we saw the XRP lawsuit dropped. Huge. We want to see these major players not being challenged for them providing what is lawful, right? They're not doing anything illegal there. Now, that's enough of the boring shit. I've already bored you guys for 11 minutes. I can't believe I could do it for that long. Let's see. Cass said I should check my chat. So let's see what's going on here. Let's say hello. What's going on? Junkie, Kevin, great to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Jose or Joe's? I don't know, man. Always happy to see you though. Love seeing you. Ryoshi, dream, baby. Can't wait to see Josh sing his song. I'm not going to be doing any of that. Tequila is the best song. Tequila! Best song ever. Cliff, what's going on, my man? Always happy to see you in the house. Obviously, we got Cass with the sass in the house. She's actually in the office for the first time in a long time. What's going on, Ness? Happy to see you too, Ness. No, I already told everybody the couch was moved. Let's see. Of course, we got Ron Paul in the house too. Kevin, how long will this last? How long will the institution dumping last? I'm assuming that's what you meant. The thing about institutions dumping is they will not stop manipulating the market until they are in place. All we can do is capitalize on those moments and understand that we know where the future is going and that they do too. And that's the whole reason why they are manipulating it. I know I just froze, but I'm telling you, they know exactly what they're doing. And all we can do is take advantage when they give us opportunity and not allow them to manipulate us out of the market. It could, but they can't do it so long. I'm not gonna lie, they can't do it much longer, especially now that NASDAQ has removed restrictions on corporations buying ETFs and everything like that. You have to realize that when somebody buys ETFs, BlackRock or the ETF issuer or whatever, these are spot ETFs. They have to buy Bitcoin. And the OTC market, we're saying it's drying up. It's been drying up for a long time, right? But it is under 1 million Bitcoin that are left in the OTC market. Now, these limitations being lifted means that there could be a lot more volume, right? A lot more buying pressure. That means that the OTC market can dry up faster. You have MicroStrategy that bought 2,000 Bitcoin last week, right? This is going to start to go away very, very fast, especially now that we also have other countries like Hong Kong, Thailand, and more. Korea also just approved it. Russia just approved it, that are starting to implement these Bitcoin ETFs. So this cannot last forever. It's that simple. It literally cannot, because it's not finite. It ends sooner or later. It's not endless. So it's that simple. Maybe we get lucky in a space racket, Stavros. I don't know about that. How long will they dump? I just answered all that. Let's see. I feel like only institutions. Yeah. Guess. What's going on, Jay the Baker or Jay the Car? Yeah. Let's see. Someone non-dirty Degens TG thinks Kitchen Talk was out of pocket.
Yeah.
What?
Lisa told me to be in the kitchen. You were saying someone how I'm here, and he goes,
she is usually in the kitchen.
Like I said, someone has to be. He goes, someone not in the dirty Degens TG probably thinks my kitchen talk is out of pocket.
I'm not gonna lie. Right before she came in here, she was in the kitchen. So yeah, that's what she does. But guys, I've got a lot more to talk about. I've got alpha to share, and I'm telling you, you haven't heard this alpha yet. I know a lot of you are Clash holders. I know a lot of you are Clash bulls. And guess what? I spent a lot of freaking time on Clash, and Clash has been absolutely killing it. The whole market is just recklessly dumping. You got Bitcoin selling off. You got liquidations topping hundreds of millions of dollars. You know what I have? I have exchanges coming to me and asking if I'm willing to let Clash join their meme trading competition to fight for a free spot listing. We have not paid for a single spot listing. We have not paid for a single listing, period. And now I've got people coming to ask if we'll like let them list us for free for spot. Yeah, that's all we will let you do. We will not pay you to list anything. Clash is literally outperforming anything. If I switch this right here to Sol, Clash against Sol is about to break all-time high. It's pressing all-time high right now. Clash has been outperforming Sol essentially since the beginning. So Clash is doing wonderful. What all is going to press Clash further though? Clash Picks. I already told you guys. Clash Picks is going to go crazy. And I've been working extremely hard. Not just me, George. George obviously has been pushing the hardest, right? But I played my part too. And that's why I'm able to share some of these things. I already shared that next week, we're going to be at the Wall Street Bets Conference. We're going to be live on the floor. We're going to be making prediction markets around the conference, everything that's going on, whatever. How many people are going to be there? What's going to be announced, right? There's so endless possibilities. And the thing about Clash Picks is that, yes, the current main currency of it is Clash. But you have to remember, Clash Picks is also free to play, right? And when you play free to play, it's KYC free. Actually, it's KYC free, period. But also, it's gasless too when you're playing free to play. So it's the easiest it can possibly be to onboard people. So we're going to Wall Street Bets Conference. Great. That's next week. We're going to onboard thousands and thousands of people just there. I guarantee it, because we're in markets around the whole freaking thing. And we're going to be right there on the floor talking about it. Cool. That's fine and all. Also, I just had another update on the Bitcoin conference in Vegas in a couple months here. They love the platform. And I even offered to make it completely 100% free to play. You want to know how Clash benefits from Clash Picks? By having real Clash volume, not by P Clash, not by the free to play, right? By having real paid volume. I offered to the Bitcoin conference, instead of making it P Clash, I'd make it PBTC. I'd change it so that it fits their MO. Right? They don't want shit coins. They don't want any of that. I said I would make it so that it fits what you want. You know what they said? We want you to make volume. We want you to show your product off, make volume, and work with us. They are so interested in Clash Picks, it would blow your mind. They don't want us to even talk about the free-to-play currency. They want us to push making volume and using the platform in a paid fashion. They don't even want to avoid the fact that it's a shit coin or not Bitcoin or whatever. That's one of the biggest conferences in the world. But then I'm not done there. I can't just do Wall Street Bets and the Bitcoin conference and shit like that. The thing is all these conferences cost too damn much for anybody to get involved. The thing is if I was a normal user and I was interested in the crypto space and I want to go to a conference, going to the Bitcoin conference cost me hundreds of dollars. Going to Wall Street Bets cost me hundreds of dollars. Going to Token is going to cost me thousands of dollars. There's one conference in the world that doesn't. ETH Denver. ETH Denver is completely free to attend. I actually hated ETH Denver. Stunk like shit. They hold it in a horse stall. But guess what? A ton of people show up and a ton of normal people go because it's free. And that's actually what these conferences should be. They should be free because you're not selling anything to these people. Business to business, sure. Yeah, the big mining rigs and all that shit, like all that shit at the Bitcoin conference, yes, that's business to business. But like when you're talking about new chains and new developments and new dApps and new DeFi platforms and prediction markets and everything, you are focused on the everyday user. And no crypto conference addresses that like ETH Denver does, because ETH Denver tickets are free. They're free. So now I'm in talks with ETH Denver. I've had a few emails back and forth, and they are incredibly interested in collaborating with Clash Picks. This is a couple months out. Mind you, Clash Picks is not even live yet. And I have conferences, the biggest conferences, lining up to work with Clash Picks because we can make tailored markets. We can give them the opportunity to make their own markets. We can label those markets for them. And not only that, these major conferences don't even want to use the free-to-play model. They want to push the paid model because they trust us, right? We've worked with these conferences for years. The impact it's going to have on Clash is mind-blowing. You currently have Clash at $48 million. Everything else in the market is dumping. All of this right here, you've got Bitcoin dumping and Sol dumping and everything, and Clash is going up. We haven't even started. Next week, we go live at Wall Street Bets. A few weeks later, we'll be going live at ETH Denver. A few weeks later, we'll be going live at one of the biggest conferences in the world. Let me get these 3 done. People are going to be banging down my door, begging me. But guess what? That's not it. Because I told you guys about Clippy the other day, and it was like 1.2, 1.3 or so. Don't mind all my lines. This is me having fun and drawing them out. But Clippy's been banging. And Clippy has big potential. I've been looking into it. There's no market maker manipulation. There's no tomfoolery. There's no huge wallets that are connected. Everything is looking really good. And actually, I was worried about the dev getting burned out. But he actually seems very thankful and being able to manage everything well. You know, like he's talking about the overwhelming amount of support that he's getting. But the thing is what brings a little bit of positive side is he's making art, but also he talks about how much he's made, right? Ultimately, when we're talking about these guys that are coming in the crypto space and they're backing a meme coin or whatever, and they have a history like that, the main reason why they're going to be here is because they're making money, right? They didn't buy the token, whatever. They're getting creator fees. So that makes them happy. And that's what we want to see. So Clippy is doing extremely well. He's still posting a ton of shit. And I'm still bullish on it. This green line up here, if you want to know. So my original buy, like I said last week, was like up here at like 1.2 or 1.3 mil. And then it started dumping. And so I set a buy, a stink bid down here, like 600K, doubled my bag. You guys are going to love this. So I wasn't paying attention here. I was supposed to take profits like in this area and I didn't. It came down. I bought a little bit more at this red line because this was going to be support. And it did well. And then it came up and my limit order finally hit. Guess what? I make mistakes too. You want to know what I did? Instead of taking initials, I put another 30 Sol in at the top because I had my limit order backwards, I guess. Whatever. So yeah. Now my next pick, now my take initials is at like 3.76 mil. We're in the green. Everything's looking good. But instead of taking profit, I doubled down again. So on accident, which I'm still happy with it. It all looks good. But now I moved my take profit up to 3.75. Yeah, we're not perfect. I wanted to share my mistake too, but I'm bullish on Clippy. It looks really good. Honestly, it looks really good. Yeah, and yeah, it just all looks good. Also, Dream does still look really good too. I know it's not doing what we hoped, but I'm going to tell you it's still very bullish. There's a lot of things going on. Dream is USD1 is constantly, World Liberty Financial is constantly coming out with new initiatives over the last week that is building up to this situation, like volume competitions or holding different USD1 pairs, like all sorts of different things. Now they're doing a $40 million campaign with Binance. So everything, in my opinion, is building up to this moment for Dream. Everything I've been telling you guys is going to happen for Dream. Patience wins. Patience wins. I'm telling you, I bought the top. I bought the bottom. I bought the bottom again. And I bought the bottom again. I see what is happening. I see the bricks being laid, and I see what is going to happen. that you have to pay attention to Mello, pay attention to World Liberty Financial, pay attention to the advisors, just pay attention to everything, and you'll see exactly what I am seeing. But other than that, guys, Bitcoin, if you're bullish on it, I do still hold a bag. I took my profits where I did. I still hold a good bag. If it goes down to like this, like 2.5 mil area, I've got a stink bid set. But right here, if you got in late, I still do like Bitcoin. Bitcoin's solid. I'm telling you, I bought 100 Bitcoins before the original dev finally supported. So I'm actually pretty bullish on this because, yeah, I've waited. Cass is talking in the back, but I've waited. But guys, that is really what I have. Shit sucks. Macro sucks. Cheeto is fucking us. But things are actually incredibly bullish. You have to separate yourself from the macro, and you have to take these as gifts, as opportunities. I know it sounds cliche. I know it sounds ridiculous, but that's literally what it is, because it is being suppressed because they know that they still have time to load up. So you can either be with it or be left behind. It's up to you. Other than that, though, guys, throw whatever you want in the chat. I'm down to hang out. I've got a little bit of tequila, and let's do it. No, wait, where'd it go? There it is. Thank you, Crypto Junkie. Thank you. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the 15 of you that show up. Honestly, I don't need hundreds of views. That's why I stopped putting the stream on X. That's why I stopped putting it on Rumble and Kick and all this other shit, because honestly, I don't really care. I don't need hundreds of people here. I need the dedicated people that actually care about what I'm talking about to be here. I'm talking to you guys. If more show up and they end up caring too, cool. Not going to complain. Let's see. May the same Big Bang have? I actually truly do believe the Big Bang has happened with Dream. I definitely do believe that. The Dream pumps. Wake up to 100x. It might fucking happen, man. Dream will be in Binance soon, probably. Honestly, I think Dream is working on CMC and some listings. Yeah, they might be. I Dream. Everything's about Dream. Take a shot. Okay. Twist my arm. I'll take a sip. That was the first drink of that bottle I've had. I've been wanting that bottle for a long time. It's actually a 2023 Day of the Dead G4 bottle. It comes in a big coffin. I've been trying to get it for a long time, and I finally got it. And I don't even get to enjoy it because I'm trying to drink it on stream and look like a fucking idiot while I try to take its palate on. But yeah, there we go. I took a shot. Agree 100%. Dips are a chance to load the bags. We'll be wishing the best for the prices. Honestly, dude, when I got into Bitcoin, or not when I got into Bitcoin, how about this? I got into Bitcoin originally 2012, but when I started working full time in it, we're looking at like 2020, right? And yeah, but I got bonuses where at times I could have bought a full Bitcoin. It's not that I didn't believe. I DCA'd and everything like that, but I thought I would have more time. Not only that, of course, I had my own things I had to take care of, whatever. I mean, not everybody can afford at that time. I sure the hell could not afford to say, this is what I'm paid. I'm going to put it all into Bitcoin, right? I couldn't do that. Yeah, like whatever. But if I could go back, I would have done that. I wouldn't have bought a car. I wouldn't have bought a beater. Instead, I would have put it all into Bitcoin. And now I would have been able to buy 10 beaters, right? Because at the time, Bitcoin was $12,000, $13,000. And I get a $10,000 bonus, I could buy a Bitcoin. And now that buys me 10 shitters, right? So yeah, like the thing is hindsight's 2020. Right now, the market's being suppressed and it's crystal fucking clear. And in a year, you're going to say, damn, Josh, I wish I listened to you. Just like some of you guys say, I wish I listened to you about Clash. You know, it's just how it's going to go. Cheers on Dream. Let's go. Post shot snarl. Have to, bro. This shit's fucking. It's not nasty. It's just got it's got a bite to it. Yeah, it's got a little bit of a. Honestly, for a G4 rep, I've had a lot of G4 reps. I've had their single barrels. I've had so many G4 reps. This one's really unique, and it's got quite a bite. Quite a bite. I have a question. Are you afraid of the upcoming quantum computers? Not at all. You want to know why? Once quantum computers come, I've got a new world of problems. I've got a whole different set of problems. I live in Chicago. I'm going to be blown up. That's my problem, is that war is going to be unleashed. Markets can crash. When quantum computers, if the world's not ready, if that actually happens, the problem's not going to be what happens to Bitcoin. The problem's going to be what happens to literally every fucking thing else in the world. Like, because if quantum computers are heavily accessible, where we have right now, like Harvard claims that they have a quantum computer. Russia says that they have one. I think China said that they have one. And then like Yale or whatever in Europe, they say they've got one. But these are commercial. When quantum computers can actually potentially be like readily available to like consumers or maybe high value hackers or whatever, your problem's not Bitcoin. Your problem is literally every fucking thing else. Our problem will be, do we have enough bullets? So no, I'm not the slightest bit worried about quantum computing. By the time that if quantum computing advances that fast, we have a different problem. But also, crypto will keep up. It was built to keep up. But I do not think quantum computing will be a problem. I truly believe that's why I have a go bag. That's why I have guns. That's why I have magazines loaded next to my bed, because those are the problems that we really have to be worried about. I'm not worried about someone breaking in. I'm worried about somebody cracking the code and shit hitting the fan. Bullets will be my currency, not Bitcoin. When that happens, bullets are our currency. But I'll tell you what, I can't go across the border and shove 5 ounces of gold up my asshole. I can put 5 Bitcoin in my backpack, though. So, your GTFO plan, I want Bitcoin. I don't want gold. I don't want silver. I don't want, like jewelry or gold necklace, whatever the hell it may be. That's one thing, right? But like when we're talking about like coins and bars and stuff, no, you're never getting out of there with that. Exactly. That says it here. There have already been quantum computers that are equivalent of running every computer in the world for 6 trillion years and 5 minutes of usage. Yeah. It's not, and even that is not good enough. That's the thing. Like, even that is not strong enough. To crack Bitcoin's code right now and to crack the encryption, you are literally looking at trillions of years of computation, right? Like, and the people that have that computation power are not using it for that. They're trying to solve like medical problems and cancer or whatever, right? Like, these people are like colleges and universities and whatever. I'm sure that like maybe in China and maybe in Russia, even in the United States, I'm sure there's malicious uses. But the main use case of the institutions that hold these quantum computers is not to steal your Bitcoin. It's really not. Nest goes, also, they would use up all the hard drive space in 1 second. Storage is limited resource. It's so strong, it's like using a rocket ship. Yeah, no, dude, it's so true. You've got like, you have, you look at like storage and RAM right now that's exploding. Like, I have in my drawer right here, I've got a 4 terabyte NVMe. I bought this 7 months ago for $100 on sale. Right now, this Samsung 990 Pro 4 terabyte drive is going for like $1,000 because storage is not unlimited. So now we've got data centers, AI, mining, everything, right? The bigger that AI gets, the more scarce storage and computation power is going to become. This is why Jeff Bezos wants to move away from you buying a computer and affording hardware to renting it online, because the idea is to price you out and to provide it to everybody. So it's not feasible. This is why we're seeing all this nonsense go on. But guys,
And silver and gold prices is why my pictures come up.
that is about what I do have for you for the night. I do appreciate all of you guys tuning in with me on this frigid Friday evening. If you're in the United States, I hope you're staying warm. If you're not, I hope you're just having a good time and laughing at us in the United States that are not staying warm. But I do appreciate all of you. I'll be back next week with another stream. If you want to talk to me sooner, though, my Telegram group is in the description down below. Free to join. Yeah, just hop in. Doesn't matter. But guys, have yourself a wonderful evening, a better weekend, and I'll see you on the next stream. Peace.